Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another round of the RaceFace.Pro SRO SimGrid Community World Challenge, round 3 of 4, and we are returning back to our home country, which I am so proud to say. Welcome to South Africa. Welcome to Kyalami for round 3 of the championship. Gotta say, very, very excited to see how this race is going to turn out, considering the championship is so close, and we're in the second last round of the championship, where the decider will come into 2 drivers will go and represent South Africa in the SRO World Community Challenge. And I've got to say, that is going to be the most monumental thing for all our drivers to go and represent. I'm looking forward to it. Welcome to RaceFace.Pro. My name is Steve Koenig. Glad to have you guys here, and glad to have you for the ride, because we're in for a bit of a wild one. Let's talk about the championship right now. We've got Henry Mayer out in first place on 93 points. Bernard Barkhuizen in second place on 81 points. Bego Krobler lying with 70 points. And here at Kyalami is going to make it rather interesting. Qualifying has just started, and our drivers are making their way around. But Bego Krobler is tied with Fleming Bauer, so bear that in mind for the race. Fleming Bauer and Bego Krobler are tied for the championship, and it's all or nothing on the cards for our drivers. So, Henry Mayer, leading out the championship, has all the cards to play for tonight if he wishes to stand at the top. Bernard Barkhuizen in second place has an opportunity to also jump his way through the field, and he's going to be looking forward to seeing that. So, let's go through the running order, who's out there, and ready to have some fun. We have got Mordred Claessens. We've got Bego Krobler, who is running third in the championship. Bear that in mind. Hansi Myberg from RaceFace. Big shout out to Hansi Myberg. Been doing a huge amount of work over in the Discord, and going and doing some Photoshop skills. Gotta say, well done, Hansi. Absolutely love it. Got to get some tutorials from you. Reginald Mutuleni, Noob Nation's Evo, out on the track with the McLaren. Jason Farmer of Griffin Sim Racing. Clary van Zale, Martin Rotenbach, Michael Pedersen, Ludwig Zitzman of Ebb & Flow out on the track. Bradley Seeley going of the Pandassi Esports. A new driver to Pandassi Esports that I've seen out on the track here. Stand to be corrected, but Xavier will go and let me know about that one. Jaco Kutzer out on track. Jaco Nadir currently out on track. Ron van der Walt going and making his way through. We got Ellen Prem, Rob van der Heerver. Always glad to see old Rob. And then we've got Paul the Wolf Enter from Logistical Nightmare Racing, Tiernas Buerta, Brandon Kruger, and then Fleming Bauer. Remember, he is tied for the points for third place. Bernard Barkhuizen and Etienne Mouton going and having a bit of fun. We've got Henry Mayer back out on track. He's leading the championship. Barry Lubber, Andre Serradio, Terence Ferreira back out on track. Always good to see Terence Ferreira. He had a good bit of time off the circuit for a bit. Mahias Musa, Project Vapor, Ruan Heineke, Eric Hustain, Christian Zetzman, William Wild Wentworth, Ruan Saliers, Aram Woodway, Werner Skuman, and Gavin Scruton is making their way through. So you can see the drivers taking it a bit around the track. We got LC Jabir out in the grandstands going and saying shout out to Griffin Sim Racing team. Looking forward to seeing what they can do as our drivers make their way around the track. We've also got Xavier from Pandassi team, and was actually asking about a query new driver, because it's the first time I've seen the name, and it's always fantastic. I do like highlighting new drivers to championships as a big welcome to them, and that's Bradley Surley, who is making his way around. So, if I'm correct, this is one of the new drivers that's out on track. and I know hasn't raced with us. Take a look at who's put in the fastest lap time. It is Martin Rotenbach at the top of the charts. Then we have got Jason Farmer currently in second place, 0.030. Then we got Jaco Kutsia going and make his way around. He's in third place, instantly gets beaten out by Jason Farmer. Well, Jason Farmer into third, Mahath Musa up into first place. Thank you very much for confirming that, Xavier. Glad to have it. It's always nice when you get to know the different team owners, and even LC Joubert giving a bit of insight from Griffin Sim Racing team as well from round 2. So shout out Mr. Joubert, or LC Joubert. Thank you very much for all the insights. Really appreciate it. It does come in handy. It's going to be a wild one, folks. Qualifying here at Kyalami means that it is going to be a proper run for the championship. Who's going to be able to climb up? Only 2 will go and represent RaceFace.Pro in the SRO Esports SimGrid Community World Championship. And at the moment, Henry May is the one to beat. Second place is still open cards. Bernard Barkhuizen, Bego Krobler, Fleming Bauer, Werner Skuman, all having a chance. Even Mahath Musa, who's running on 54 points, lying in 6th place, has an opportunity to score valuable points. Mordrake Klaassen has an opportunity as well. So Bernard Barkhuizen out onto the top. And we were just talking about the two. There's Mahath Musa running in 2nd place. Tim, the cameraman, still searching for cars because these guys are absolutely flying and loving being back on home soil. So Elric de Jager also saying, go Jason, Ruan, and Hoi boys. So good to see that Elric de Jager coming and jumping in. Always fantastic. Bego Krobler now jumping up into 2nd place. He wants to start on the front row, especially how difficult Kyalami can become in the first lap, because you don't really break away from the competitors. Turn 1 is just a kink. It really isn't anything. It's the only reason it's called turn 1 is because it's more than 50. It's 15 degrees steering angle that is there. So that's why it's turn 1. Slight right-hand kink. Turn 2 is the big left-hander where you will see all the cars going 4 wide into this corner before slamming on the brakes. There's tons of room for the GT3s to go and fight it out once again. Absolutely amazing. Truly an honor to be a part of an awesome championship. Werner Skuman jumping up in 2nd place. Good to see a Mustang actually going and putting itself up towards the top. Beaten up by Barkhuizen, and Henry Mayer puts himself into 1st place. So Werner Skuman currently in the Mustang, 3rd place. Part of our front engine fight out. Fleming Bauer, Bego Krobler trying to make up some time. Harry van Zale going and pulling out the rabbit out of the hat here, getting ahead of Mahath Musa for now. And Eric Hustain looking to go and battle it out once again. So anything is possible here in the championship. And with only 2 rounds to go, including this one we are watching tonight, 2 drivers will go forward and represent. And I've got to say, absolutely huge amount of just respect for the drivers to do it. And I can tell you, I had a chat with all the different sponsors: Red Star Raceway, Scallywags, SA Lube, Ardendorf Machinery Mart. Everyone is just excited to see how this is going to turn out, how big this has become, and how much it's become the staple for a lot of the drivers to just improve, to prove that they can stand up against the larger names in sim racing. I'm talking about the Jardiers, the Jordan Sherritts, who won the Africa Cup earlier this year, and I mean so many more looking to battle it out. Actually, I had a chat with a driver that some will be very familiar with, others not so familiar with, and that was actually Ronaldo Boersma. I got to catch up with him and ask him about what's his thoughts about Kyalami, the GT3s, the new revitalized tyre systems that's brought into the world of ACC, and the build-up to Assetto Corsa Competizione, well, into Assetto Corsa Evo. And he turned around and he said he's super excited to see what the drivers can do. The caliber of drivers have definitely improved, and how they can take on the situations, forcing themselves out of comfort zones and pushing themselves further up the mark. Vietia Buerta going and saying, How's it, lacquer boys? So great to see so many people coming to the grandstands, and a shout out to you guys in the virtual grandstands. Always an absolute honor to be on the microphone with you guys. But I want to hear, who are you excited for? Which teams are you going to watch? No, let me get this right, because this is not a team championship. No. This is the one, the only Drivers' Championship. So, now I am going to challenge you all, the spectators, as we watch Henry Mayer take the top spot. Which driver do you think will win here at Kyalami for round 3 of the RaceFace.Pro SRO World Community Qualifiers? Now, I know there's going to be a little bit of hesitation from a lot of drivers going, well, they want to support the teams and they support their friends. No, but I'm going to challenge you all. We have got all the horses in the race here. Multiple drivers, each with huge accolades behind their name. Whether it is from Logistical Nightmare, whether it is Henry Mayer, whether it's Bernard Barkhuizen, Werner Skuman, Dago Krobler, Mahath Musa, and the list goes on. If you had to put your money on one driver to win here at Kyalami, who will it be? Don't take the cheap state approach here. Let's see what the crowd have to say. And yes, I know there is a lot of friendships that are going to be tested right now. But at the start, we got 4 minutes left. Henry Mayer at the top of the charts. Bago Krobler running in second place. Bernard Barkhuizen in the third. Werner Skuman in fourth. Fifth, Brandon Kruger. Then we got Paul Fenter, Harry Fontel, Mahath Musa, Fleming Bauer, Ryan Barrington Smith is even out on track looking to prove himself. Martin Rotenbach, Jason Farmer in 12th. 13th, Eric Kirstein, Jaco Kutzer in 14th, 15th, Tiana Spuerta, Mordrake Claessens in 16th position, 17th, Ruan Soliers, along with Ruan van der Walt, Hansi Maiberg in 19th, 20th, Reginald Mutaleni, Ruan Heineke running in 21st, 22nd, Jochen India, Terence Ferreira in 23rd, 24th, Gavin Scruton, Ludwig Zetzman, Christian Zetzman, Rob van der Heerver, Bradley Surley, Michael Petersen, Etienne Mouton, Elwin Prem, Barry Lubber, Ara Madwai, and Andre Serrati on 34th, going 35th. Well, he's jumped up quite a bit. William Wentworth and Lewis Mintrim, also a very new driver coming in and having a bit of fun. So, I challenged, and we have got, so far, 2 votes for Henry Mayer to be at the top of the charts for round 3. 2 drivers on that one. I'm curious because I want to hear you all, the fans, the spectators, the teams, the families, everyone watching, whether you're watching right here on the track, if you're going and watching it live, or you're watching in the future. I want to hear you guys shouting from the rooftops on your favorite drivers, seeing the South African flag waving high for our drivers, because this is what's going to represent South Africa. These are the drivers fighting to represent South Africa. And as we know, you can't beat us in the World Cup. Whether we are in rugby or whether we're in racing, we're going to drill you every second time, because it's only 1 point that's needed to claw your way to the top. So I want to hear from everyone watching. And please get all your friends and families to cheer on to this, because it's going to be a wild ride. The championship's so close. The top 6 mathematically can win this championship. They can come first and second. First to 6th is open cards right now. Dino going and jumping in and saying, let's go, boys. Dino, I got a question. Since you have been a driver to represent South Africa from Gran Turismo side, who is your pick to go and race and be at the top for Kyalami? Who do you think is going to win this race? So there we go, Dino, directly challenging Mr. Gran Turismo himself in that one. So, Henry Mayer on the top of the charge, a 140.5 to beat Bago Krobler, 0.025 right behind. Then we got Andres Radio from Project Vapor. He's just been blistering this last little while. Absolutely love it. Fourth place, Bernard Barkhuizen, not used to where he is, second in the championship. Not ideal circumstances because he's got both his championship competitors ahead of him at the start, taking the front row. He's next to Andres Radio, who's not going to back down from a fight. Fleming Bauer is going to give him a good go as well. Werner Skuman down in sixth is second of our front engine cars. He's trying to push it up through the field. Paul Fenter driving one of the oldest cars on the sim tonight. The Aston Martin. Gotta say, love it. Love it, love it. Dino going and saying, money is on the hybrid racing Bago Krobler to go and put himself at the top of the charts. Johan Bago Krobler is a fan favorite, so this is going to be a proper banger all the way. And so much is happening, and we're going to be doing some massive mic drops, because for anyone that doesn't know, two drivers will be representing RaceFace. But if you guys at home want to be a part of the action, we do have championships going to be firing up soon, and that will be season 19 on the Thursday nights right here at RaceFace.Pro, which you want to keep an eye out on our social media for. Henry Mayer still at the top of the charts. Bernard Barkhuizen in second place, trying to get a little bit of time. He's 0.1 up on his previous lap time. Was fastest through the one sector. Can he get it right through the S's? Bago Krobler is also going and making his way through. Antonio Gamble going and jumping in. Good to see you. Glad to have more and more in the grandstands going and raising their hands, showing off to the world. And then we got Elsie Joubert going and also giving a bit of a smile there. Ryan Barrington-Smith put himself into third place. So now he has made himself firmly stuck towards the front row. Will it be enough though? Bernard Barkhuizen trying to improve. Bago Krobler tried to improve. Had to back out of it though. And oh no, that's it. That is it. Bernard Barkhuizen could not get it sorted out. Henry Mayer at the top of the charts. Brandon Kruger is up on his lap time. Will it be enough to put himself all the way to the top? Another shout out for the Griffin Sim Racing team. So good to see our GSRs having a bit of fun out there. Griffin Sim Racing team. All right, well, that being said, all our drivers come across the line, and we will be looking to go to the grid right here at Kyalami. Super excited for this one, as not only going to challenge our drivers, it is also a track everyone knows very well. It's a South African circuit because, well, we got one of the best circuits in the world. We got multiple. I wish East London was actually on this, to be honest. That would be my absolute pick of circuit. But Kyalami, with its grand history of crowning champions, this year we actually had a Africa champion crowned here, South African, to go and get crowned by the FIA Africa Games. So absolutely great stuff. Let's go down to the grid though, because we are going to be firing up soon enough. And we're going to go on a quick, very quick grid walk for the RaceFace.Pro SRO SimGrid Community World Challenge Round 3. Henry Mayer out in first place, Bernard Barkhuizen in second, Ryan Barrington-Smith, Bago Krobler, Brandon Kruger, Andres Radio, Fleming Bauer, Werner Skuman, Paul Fenter, Mahayath Musa, Gerry van Zyl, Mordred Claessens, Martin Rotenbach, Jason Farmer, Eric Kirstein, Jaco Kutzer, Tianis Buerta, Ruan Heineke, 19th place, Ruan Siliers, along with Terence Ferrer, Ruan van der Walt, Hansi Meiberg, Reginald Mutelani, Jaco Nadir, Gavin Scriven, along with Ludwig Zetzman, Bradley Surley, Christian Zetzman, Rob van der Heever, Elwin Prem, Michael Pedersen, Etienne Maton, Barry Lubber, Ara Midwai, and Wild William Wentworth, rounding out our field at the back of the grid. So, as our drivers line up, getting ready to go, all eyes will be up towards Henry Mayer, who looks to go and get a fantastic jump off the line, lined up with second place in the championship, Bernard Barkhuizen right behind him. Ryan Barrington-Smith didn't have the best of races in round 2, looking to redeem himself in round 3. Actually, I had a chat to Paul Fenter a bit after it, and he said, nope, The aim is to get the L&R cars right to the top before the mid-round 570. Oops, did I say that out loud? Oh well, if you heard it now, you heard it now. Just dropping bombshells, why not? Just call me Fallout. I'll be Fallout 4. No, Fallout New Vegas. How's that? Massive grid, as you can see, the GT3 cars lined up, which is always fantastic. Engines will be firing up, tires will be cold, brakes will be cold, but the action surely to heat up when the green flag drops as they make their way around Cheetah. Now into the final corner. Henry Mayer looking to jump his way to the top. Will it be enough though with Bernard Barkhuizen? So all drivers will back down 70 kilometers an hour. They have to keep side-by-side formation until the green flag. No drive-through penalties unless you jump the start. And all eyes will be on Henry Mayer. Can he get the jump on Bernard Barkhuizen? Or will Ryan Barrington-Smith and Bego Krobler get the jump on our front pack? Lights on, lights off, and away we go racing for round 3 as they go charging down, heading towards turn 2, out of turn 1. It's going to be hard on the brakes, and it does look like Bego Krobler trying to look for the inside line, going and tucking up right underneath, and ensuring that Bernard Barkhuizen is going to take the long way around, curving their way up to Yuxgate. And around the corner, Bernard Barkhuizen clean there. Bego Krobler clean. Brandon Kruger going side by side. Ryan Barrington-Smith out of the train, though, is going to have Andre Serradio looking to try and battle his way around on the outside. So Ryan having to close that off very, very quickly. Here comes the likes of Fleming Bauer, though, in the McLaren. He's going and giving a huge chase. Tries to go around the outside. Couldn't get it sorted out. Werner Skuman has got Paul Fenter going and hassling him down. And then you've got Mordred Claessens going and pushing as hard as he can on the charge through. Drivers trying to push their way through, and our leaders starting to break away from the grid. At the moment, though, Henry Mayer feeling the pressure, can't get enough heat into the tires as yet. They're going to be looking at what's going to work for them here, how they're going to make their way around the track. Seeing a little bit of contact, though, might be rubbing and racing from Mahaith Musa and Mordred Claessens. Yes, they were just a little bit of elbow-to-elbow rubbing there, sharing a bit of paint, a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, and they're having a huge amount of fun. Reginald Mortellini and Ruben van der Walt also giving each other a bit of a show. And Reginald around the outside through Crocodile, trying to get it going, battling up and down through the field. Jakob Nadir going down, and oh, we have a Zetzman going off into the dirt. Cheetah has claimed its first victim, and Pitstop starting to come into fray. So unfortunately, Cheetah came into play there and claimed its first victim of the night, and that was unfortunately for the ebb and flow Audi R8. Back up to our top running order, though. First and second breaking away from the field. Bego Krobler trying to chase behind. Brandon Kruger going and seeing if he can close up the gap. Ryan Barrington-Smith watching in his mirrors. Andre Serradio, Project Vapor, has lined up the shot and looking to go for the pass. He's trying to close up under braking. Braking a little bit early out of Sunset and through Clubhouse. And it does look like they're broken away from Werner Skuman, who's battling a little bit with Fleming Bauer right behind him, and Paul Fenter also trying to push him as hard as he can. All the drivers hoping that they can claw their way to victory. It's not going to be an easy fight here. Paul Fenter tries to close up at the top of the mine shaft through Westbank. And now down the mine shaft they go, flat out, as fast as you can. Expect to see 329, 330 kilometers an hour if you're brave enough. Generally, we watch, guys, about 327 seems to be the optimum before you hit the brakes into Crocodile, formerly known as the Bowl. Then you charge your way through into Cheetah, where we saw claim his first victim. You want to get as close as you can to that curb before anything, but it can eat you up quite quickly. Mahaith Musa going and try to close up the gap. He needs to be way further up in the field if he wants to score some valuable points here tonight. Mordred Claessens keeping tucked up right underneath him, looking under that rear wing. This is one of our closest battles, currently sitting out on the track. And all four cars not giving an inch. Mildred Clausen trying to hope to make a bit of a move. Bernard Barkhuizen, though, yellow flags getting kicked up for Bernard Barkhuizen. Why is that? So there's Henry Mayer, but Bernard Barkhuizen, unfortunately, getting it all out of shape. Let's actually go take a look what happened. Quick replay, heading into turn 2. Hard on the brakes. Does the McLaren kick round? All looking stable there. Oh, no, he's just gone straight. Oh, no! He's gone straight. Bernard Barkhuizen has suffered a mechanical failure. Bernard Barkhuizen has just suffered a mechanical failure, and he needs to try and get that sorted out as quick as possible. But he is out of the race so far. That moves Bego Krobler up into second place, who outbrakes himself into Crocodile. And here comes Brandon Kruger looking right behind him. So Bernard Barkhuizen, though, second in the championship, will be compromised in this race for the championship points. Oh, we saw a shot of Paul Fenter, who unfortunately, my heavens, Paul, what did you do? Reverses it back. So Paul Fenter, unfortunately at a moment, towards himself there. Let's see if we could go take a look. Let's go to the helmet cam. Out wide. Down the gears. Oh, just touches the dirt. Snap, catch. And slides it just towards pit lane. Not wanting to go through the pits. Gets himself back out and going. How he did not hit the wall is beyond me. So absolutely tremendous stuff there. Brandon Kruger, Ryan Barrington-Smith, and Bego Krobler all nose to tail with one another, and they're looking to try and push themselves a bit more beyond at the moment. Remember, Bego Krobler now has an opportunity to usurp Bernard Barkhuizen to take second place in the championship. But he is going to have to ensure he holds this position and not to lose out to Ryan Barrington-Smith or even Brandon Kruger at the moment, because both of them can put a dent in that plan. Brandon Kruger running 14th in the championship. One did not finish, unfortunately, and that was in round 2. So he's having to try and fight it out. Ryan Barrington-Smith running in currently 9th position in the championship. Both are seeing themselves on the podium here tonight and trying to force a mistake. Andre Serradio, though, is also in for a fight. He's trying to improve himself. Best lap time being set by our number 99, Henry Mayer. So he's really opened up the door. Actually a second faster, just under a second faster than the rest of the field on that previous lap. So great running from them. And he's hoping to keep away, try and start galloping away, seeing that second place is now way out of contention. Well, having Bernard Barkhuizen unfortunately out at the moment. And it looks like he hasn't been able to get that car up and going once again. So it's unfortunate, but I really want to see, I hope for Bernard Barkhuizen to get back into the racing. Or you know, give us a bit of an insight on what happened, why he went straight. Number 29, though, this is Aram Madwai going and losing out, having one of the GSR cars right on the back of him. Looks for the inside line. He goes out wide. Does the tail snap out? Ooh, a little bit of close contact. Bump, barge. And all looking okay there. But a little bit wild for a couple of our drivers. So, with that being said, let's go through the running order because it's always handy to know. We got Henry Mayer out in first place, Bego Krobler in second, third place Brandon Kruger, along with Ryan Barrington-Smith, Andre Serradio, Werner Skuman, Fleming Bauer, Mahath Musa chasing him down, Mildred Clausen, and then we've got Jaco Kutzer, Jason Farmer, Tiernas Buerta, and yellow flag kicked up for the 101. That is Christian Zitzman, and let's see what happened to Mr. Zitzman here. On the way through, up to the top of West Bank on the brakes. Turns it in. Did the tail snap out? He runs it out wide. Oh, just touches the grass. saves it out of the wall, but unfortunately will lose out quite a few positions there. So Zitzman going and waiting. So back up to what we were doing. Henry Mayer, Bago Krobler, Brandon Kruger, Ryan Barrington Smith currently running in 4th. 5th is Andre Seradio, Werner Skuman, Fleming Bauer, Mahayath Musa, Mordrake Larson, Jaco Kutza, Jason Farmer, Tianis Burta, Paul Fenter, Hansi Myberg, along with Reginald Mutaleni, Ruan Siliers, Ruan van der Walt. Then we got Jaco Nadir, William Wentworth, Martin Rotenbach, Gavin Scruton, Christian Zetzman, Ludwig Zetzman going side by side. Does look like we have got our stop-go 32nd. That's going to be for speeding in pits. Christian Zetzman, though, going to lose out, and now has Ludwig Zetzman on the back of him, with Madwai keeping very, very close in for this fight as well. So the Ferrari is going to be in for an absolute challenge. Goes out wide. Bradley Searley making his way around the track. Terence Ferreira, Harry van Zale going and making their way through. Barry Lubber, Eric Kirstein, Michael Petersen, Ruan Heineke, Rob van der Heerve, and then we've got Ellen Prem, who needs to serve a stop-go 30-second penalty. He did do a pit stop, but it was out of the pit window. Now, many people going to be asking, what on earth is a pit window, and does it open up and allow the breeze to come through? Well, yes, it does. It pretty much makes life a little bit more interesting. So, pit window. How does this work? You have to get in the pits while the pit window is open, and it will close. You'll see the timer where it says 59 minutes and 33 seconds. That is how much time you have to actually get your pit stop done. If you pit it before the pit window open, your pit stop does not count. AKA Kerry van Zale, Eric Kirstein, Ruan Heineke, Rob van der Heerve, and Ellen Prem unable to go and get their pit stops counted. But a shout out, a massive, massive shout out, hands down, Bernard Barkhuizen is back in the car, in the pits, looking to go out once again. For anyone that is watching who is in the comms with Bernard Barkhuizen, or if Bernard, you can hear me, buddy, good on you. Really good on you. My one simple rule that I always say to every driver, and I think everyone's heard me say it numerous times, is always go and see the checkered flag. Make sure that you get there, go and get yourself back out on track. It's always a necessity, as seeing William Wentworth and Martin Rotenbach one another. Getting a little bit of information coming from LC Jabir saying Ruan and Rob had to pit for repairs to be done to their car. So they must have scored those damages at the start of the race. So it would be about lap 2 that they got bounced if they had to get the pit stop. As you see, Martin Rotenbach gets around William Wentworth without too much of a hassle there and launch away through. So unfortunate that they will have 3 pit stops. So a big shout out to Mr. Jabir. Thank you very much for the information. Always fantastic to just have that insight going and giving us all that info of what's happening in the pits, what's happening with the drivers, and what is going through the minds of the drivers, strategies, sort of ideas that are being bounced around. You know, here in the broadcasting, we don't get to spend as much time talking to the drivers and working through them. We do get to have a chat when the drivers are offline, they taking a break or preparing themselves for their next race, but not often that we get to hear from the track. So, number 52, this is Alwyn Prem. Remember, stop-go 30-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Now having a bit of a problem. Yellow flag coming out. And let's see what it's for. Might have just been running out. Oh, that is a bit bizarre. And it looks like Prem may have disconnected. So unfortunately, that would be taking another car out of the race. Hopefully they can get it sorted out. Brandon Kruger and Ryan Barrington Smith. No joke between them, no space between them. It is allowing Bago Krobler to open up a little bit ahead. Andre Serradio running a second behind, maintaining the tyres, along with Werner Skuman. They're letting these two duke it out as they challenge. Now, we do know that the Ferrari is very, very good on its tyres. Ryan Berry-Smith in the Aston Martin is in the old reliable. For everyone that has never done any sim racing on a set of course competizione before, the Aston Martin and the Ferrari are your go-to cars, even the BMW. BMW a little bit sluggish, but always good to see. Darren going and also shouting out saying support the Astons tonight, go Fenter and go Berries, which is Ryan Barrington-Smith and Paul Fenter. So a bit of support going out towards our logistical nightmare racing. So, taking a look at who's done the pit stops. First one that's actually got a pit stop count was Jaco Nadir. So Jaco Nadir is going to be our bar that we're going to work with. Now, I always talk about the bar. What does that mean? This is the driver you want to watch out for. Oh, a little bit of side-on contact there with Madwai and the likes of Jaco Nadir. Like, thankfully, no problems entering the corner. So you want to ensure that you are ahead of Jaco Nadir when you get into the pits. From there, we go to the next driver, the next driver, the next driver, till eventually our top 10 are within the close pit stop ranges. And that's the main thing you want to start looking at, is when are the drivers going to get into the pits and where are they going to come out. Andre Serradio all over the back of Ryan Barrington-Smith, trying to carry as much momentum for everyone. And Darren saying that's one love for Alan R from PWSR. Man, oh man, PWSR. Okay, so that is, sure, that is one team that, honestly, I'm surprised it's not in the championship. For anyone that doesn't know the PWSR name, they go and race out with the pros. Side by side, though, Ryan Barrington-Smith getting the better exit. Brandon Kruger stuck on the outside. Now has the inside line, heading into Sunset. Can he get the pass done? Serradio around the outside, trying to get it all sorted out before Clubhouse gets pushed out wide. Can he dive on the brakes? BMW trying to swivel its nose in. Couldn't get the pass done as yet. Brandon Kruger going a little bit sideways. And now that has allowed Skuman to get into the fray. Absolutely amazing job from all our drivers. But it looks like Ryan has carried the momentum through. He's gotten ahead of Brandon Kruger. Now he's left a gap to deal with Andre Serradio and Brandon Kruger. They have both closed up onto the back of Ryan Barrington-Smith, so he's not done just as yet. The fight will still continue for third place. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, all onto the back of one another. And our cameraman searching around the track, going and keeping an eye on how it's all going to go. Everyone hoping to carry on the charge as they make their way through. Monumental fights on the way as our drivers make their way around the track. Andre Serradio now into the tow, pulling himself along. Will he line it up for turn 2? No, Brandon Kruger going to maintain course. He gets onto the back of Ryan Barrington-Smith. That doesn't seem to have as much straight line. He outbraked himself though. Cost a bit of time out wide, snaking his way up, and does look like Serradio putting his nose in just to say, hey, listen, I'm coming. But that compromised some drive. Werner Skuman now got onto the back of him as all four head through Sunset, keeping their foot on the throttle. It is a very hot track out there. 32 degrees on the track. And absolutely monumental stuff for our drivers. So Darren actually saying the cars aren't ready yet, but they will be for the RaceFace.Pro Season 19 starting soon. So always good to hear that. Andre Serradio trying to go late under the brakes, couldn't get it all sorted out. Brandon Kruger onto the back of Ryan Barrington-Smith, looked around the outside, trying to carry as much momentum as possible. Now they're starting to carve their way through the back blockers, as we saw Bego Krobler going and making his way through. So Bego's going to have to try and carve his way through without losing too much time, because the last thing you want is this pack onto the back of you, going and chasing you down. Andre Serradio right up the rear tail, up the tailpipe of Brandon Kruger. The Honest Gaming now dealing with the Project Vapor driver, and does look like Werner Skuman dives into the pits, opting that he's losing out a little bit too much time there. Will get the pit stop done. Remember, he needs to keep an eye on Jaco Nodia, who is in 22nd position and trying to make his way through. So keep an eye on where they're going to come out. Werner Skuman is looking to be the bar at this point, but he needs to keep ahead of fellow Mustang driver Jaco Nodia. Werner Skuman, Hansi Myberg, both pulling into the pits as they try and get it done and dusted. Brandon Kruger feeling the pressure on Andres Aradio. Reinberg starting to open up that gap, and now they're going to try and curve their way through Terence Ferreira just ahead of them. And behind, Fleming Bauer and Mahath Musa also chasing each other down. And looking for the pit stops. Where are they all going to come out? Will Jaco Nodia get the jump on Werner Skuman and Hansi? No, he does not. Werner Skuman comes out in 15th position. So he will be the bar that everyone's keeping an eye out. Remember, he pitted from the top 10 now into this little fight. So opting is losing a bit too much time. Terence Ferreira making his way around. Oh, getting run out a little bit wide there, having to use a bit of the speed juice that's coming in. And Terence, who's going and getting a bit of insight from one of our top ACC drivers in South Africa, Zahir Essa. For those that remember that name from the beginning of the year. So how's that? Zahir Essa giving some coaching lessons to all our drivers, part of Speed Juice. Jaco Kutzer, Jason Farmer, they keeping up a very close fight between them. Farmer on a gentle climb at the moment, lying in 10th place, trying to carry the momentum. They are chasing down Mordred Claessens as much as possible, so keep an eye on them. But back up to our running fight. Andres Aradio, Brandon Kruger still nose to tail. This is one of our closest fights currently out of track. And we do have another bit of contact for the number 29 car and the 98 of Michael Peterson. So let's go take a look at what happened here. Adwai going late on the brakes. Turn 2, curves in. A little bit of a tag there. Think more network than anything. With a slight buffet against the Mustang. Oh, never mind. That was pretty hefty. That was a hefty jump over a curb and just, well, shenanigans being pulled out there, that's for certain. William Wentworth now into the pits. Brandon Kruger, Andres Aradio keep it close to one another. Now Mahath Musa and Fleming Bauer have closed up on one another. Plus they are closing on the battle ahead as they've got to try and get past Terence Ferreira, who is making his way around. So there's Terence Ferreira in the Mustang, the Player One Racing, trying to break away from the fight, seeing what's in his mirrors and going, I've got to make sure they get past me at just the right time. I don't want to be sucked up into a battle that is unnecessary as it stands. Mahath Musa going on and pushing it what he can. Terence Ferreira does give the gap, heading into our final corner, back onto the power, and that is Ingwe, for anyone that isn't quite sure. Was it Terence Ferreira? No, it was not Terence Ferreira that gave the gap there. Interesting enough, I do apologize. But one of our other Mustangs out on track. Still got to get used to people in the Mustangs and find who drives what over the course of it. I do know for the Project Vapor team, the BMW has been the go stick for it. Henry Mayer has bounced around between the Porsche and the McLaren at the moment. Bego Krobler's constantly been Porsche. So it's good to see some drivers tinkering. Jason Farmer in the Porsche, a little bit different to what he usually runs. Jaco Kutzer though, gonna go and run him out wide through Sunset, right to the fringes. Walked him out and got that going. So great stuff there. And we also got another little fight, and this is Etienne Mouton and Eric Kirstein. But William Wentworth, unfortunately, going and getting the hand of our stewards, gets a drive-through penalty for track limits exceeded. So you get 3 warnings before you get caught out. So this, unfortunately, lands up with a monster of a problem for him. as our leader makes his way past Madwai. Second place, Bago Krobler trying to keep the momentum. Oh, runs on the dirt. That's got to compromise. So does Ryan Barrington-Smith, Brandon Kruger, and Andre Serradio. And that isn't going to be utilizing the cool down the tires trick that we have seen in the past with some tracks and certain sims. This time, it just makes the car absolutely unstable. And we've so far seen quite a few drivers bite the dust for it. I think Paul Fenter's close shave was one to take a look at, or even Ludwig, the Ludwig Zitzman car, the Ebb and Flow Audi, that landed up getting itself twisted around Cheetah in the early stages of the race, going and hitting the corner, well, hitting the curb, bouncing it up, throwing the car into the air and sending it for a bit of a loop. But quite some amazing racing out there, and also some good climbs after some unfortunate gains. So let's take a look at that, as we have got quite a few drivers to talk about. Reginald Mutileni, he's up 10 positions from where he started. He's in 13th at the moment. He's got Werner Skuman right behind him. Remember, Werner Skuman has completed his first pit stop. He's down 6 positions, so he's trying to close up that gap. William Wentworth is up 10 positions, but it's got a drive-through penalty, so that's going to make that null and void and drop him down. The biggest losers of the competitions, though, is Bernard Barkhuizen and Kerry van Sale. Bernard with 32 positions, and Kerry van Sale down 22 positions from the running. So not a fun time for both those drivers. They still in the pits as it stands, as we see William Wentworth pulls into the pits. So Werner Skuman all over the back of Reginald Mutileni, Reginald of Noob Nation Evo, who is also streaming out on YouTube, will be saying a few words at the moment, saying, okay, well, I need to keep ahead. Takes a deep breath. It suddenly has Werner Skuman up on the inside, runs him out wide through Crocodile, tries to come back for it in Cheetah. Can he get it all sorted out? Nope, second guesses that. Runs out wide, but Werner Skuman gets it sorted out. Andre Serradio into the pits, and that's going to be his first pit stop. He's just leaving. He's going to come out right with Werner Skuman. Remember, they were also fighting within the top 10. Serradio trying to get as much momentum heading into turn 2 to just get into the braking zone. Does so, and Werner Skuman now has closed up onto the back of him. So this is going to be a bit of a 5-4 position, which means Andre Serradio is currently the bar to go and watch your pit stops, and he's in 12th. He's in 12th, folks. Now, let's think about that when you're contemplating. There's only 43 minutes left of our pit window, 53 minutes of this race. You've got to go and figure out what is your strategies looking like. What are you going to do? And I can tell you, both Serradio and Skuman both have only pitted for a splash and dash. Hansi Meiberg, splash and dash. Jaco Nadir was for repairs, and Eric Hussein also with a bit of repair work. Terence Ferreira, a bit of repair work. Bradley Surley, 39.3. That would be tires and repair with a bit of refueling as well. So definite runs there. Number 22 running into a bit of a problem and contact by the looks of it. This is Terence Ferreira trying to get around Madwai. Mustang creeps up on the inside through Crocodile. Side by side they go. All looking okay. Was there a bit of light con? Whoa! No, Madwai giving a bit of a turnaround there. That is a pit maneuver, unfortunately, and I know that will end up in a very, very nasty report back. And Terence Ferreira will not be smiling after that. Neither will his rear tires. Mordrake Claessen's into the pits and comes out. He drops behind the bar. So now he is having to battle it out. Third of everyone that's done our pit stops. Paul Fenter onto the back of Tiernas Buerta. These two know each other very, very well and are in fierce competition more than once. We've seen throughout all the different championships that are running here in South Africa and out of South Africa as well. So Tiernas Buerta of Hybrid Racing going and duking it out with Paul Fenter going and chasing him down. You can see the Aston a lot more planted through the corners, but just not getting the run like the McLaren, even though it's unstable into the braking zone, he's able to carry a lot more momentum versus Paul Venter. So it's going to be a proper charge with Tyre as we jump off the rear wing and hear the howling scream of the McLaren starting to open up that gap to Paul Venter. You could see how the Aston closes up under braking. Does phenomenally well, but just got that poor exit. Doesn't have the same amount of acceleration, and Paul Venter is feeling it at the moment as we jump on board, as he goes into the final corner, down into first, through the gears, back on the throttle, and continues on the charge as he hopes to make his way through. So he is really trying to close down the gap and ensure he can get back into the fight. So we go down to Terence Ferreira. He's got William Wentworth around the outside of him. Tries to keep it all clean. And Terence, gets a little bit snaky. Bernd Heineke, though, interesting enough, completed all these pit stops. So he's gone for a much, much earlier approach. Whether that is planned or unplanned, it's turned out that way. We've also got yellow flags for our 113 car. And let's go through to that. That is Bradley Surley, one of the new drivers that come out to race. First time out on the grid here in the Assetto Corsa Competizione at RaceFace.Pro. And he gets to meet Cheetah, swings round, he's able to get it. Great pirouette, can he make it? Oh no, just not enough. Would have kept my foot on the throttle just to try and pull it back, you know. I would give that about a 6 out of 10. Didn't quite get the turnaround to, get back and get going, but still well enough in terms of execution. So Tyres would be feeling 0 out of 10 right now, but most certainly the pirouette, I'd give it a 6 out of 10 versus anything. Take a couple of points off for just not getting the finish there. Just not able to pivot as much as he would like. I think, what's that word? There's one for in the world of ballet. Paul Venter goes and makes his way around the circuit. Well, he pulls into the pits. That's going to open it up for Tiana. But back up to the top of the chart, Ryan Barrington-Smith going and closing up on Bego Krobler. This is a fight for third and second position as Henry Mayers opened up a 6.8 second gap to these two. They've gone by, launched them way around. Trying to remember, what would you call a turn in the likes of ballet? That would have been that. Is it pallet? Might have been pallet. I don't know. But Bego Krobler fighting it out with Ryan Barrington-Smith. Lost my trail of thought there. As we see Ryan on the brakes, tries to turn it in. Gets back on the power just as rear tyre's not responding. That nose gripping up, the understeer comes out as it battles through the slow corners. Can close up under braking, but the slow corners is the problem. Where the Porsche is able to just get that rotation and feed the power on a bit quicker. And Bego Krobler launches his way through. Very close to Cheetah. Oh, a bit of a slide. Also Ryan Barrington-Smith. They went and put a lot of turn angle on the steering to try and get a twisted round and get those cars back out to the top of the charts as they close down the fight. Thank you, Greg Van Niekerk. Go and give in. That's a Perrette. So, Perrette. Thank you, Greg Van Niekerk. For anyone that doesn't know Greg Van Niekerk, he actually is part of the Red Star Racing team. Shout out to them. Going and racing in iRacing. And, looking forward to seeing Greg out on the sim racing track once again very, very soon. So, shout out to Red Star Raceway, Greg Van Niekerk, and Quinton Costa as well, along with the whole Costa family. I know they're watching and enjoying the amazing action we have at the moment. So far, some great racing for second place as we see one of our GSR team drivers moving out of the way, going and allowing the two to fight, not compromising too much heading into the S's. Actually very, very well played. A monster of a shout out for that, because yes, blue flags means you hold your line, you don't fight your competition, you make yourself predictable, that type of thing. That being said, hats off to the back markers that do give a little bit of room, allow the cars to go, don't compromise their drive, and then focus on the race once again. One, that is situational awareness of note, and it's one thing to be racing flat out, nose to tail, and charging after the car ahead of you, but when you've got your eyes on the rearview mirror, plus trying to hit those apexes, I would say it's one of the hardest things in the world to do. So for drivers like that, shout out, well done, great stuff. As we see these two still fighting it out there, 0.8 of a second between one another, and charging their way through. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. André Serradio, Werner Skuman. That is the bar that we're watching at the moment. Serradio and Skuman running 10th and 11th respectively as it stands. And they are currently the drivers that you want to get in the pits and out of the pits before you get out and land up with a problem. So, Gracie, Antia Gumbel going and also saying a pirouette. So it is a pirouette. I wasn't wrong. I was thinking there's some technical term or something to it, and, well, overthought it. Shout out to our grandstands, though. Seriously, a shout out to our grandstands going and giving some information. You would be surprised. I'm waiting for someone to go and talk about Carl Army with the history and the amazing racing, and possibly, you know, a little bit on the side in terms of a bit of history, like a specific set of tires that landed up with a problem. Jaco Kutza going and racing with Jason Farmer. Actually, through the S's here, if you look at an old picture with Willie Hepburn, I think it is, he was leaning out of the car because the rain was covering up in the fog over the windscreen, and he had to actually unbuckle himself while in a race. Never do that at home. Never do it on track. Please, for the love of heavens, don't do it. It's extremely dangerous. But he loosened the belts, and he was outside the window watching. So that's something to keep an eye out. Bago Krobler, though. Oh, hold on. Hold the phone here. Big turn of events. This was second place. This was second place. What happened? Bago Krobler, what happened? This is a turn of events. Gets a snap oversteer on the grass, loses it. Oh, Ryan Beaton-Smith keeps away from it. Bago gets into the wall. Bago Krobler in the wall, now needing repair work on the car. He's going to drop like a stone. He's going to drop like a stone out of it. And that is promoted Ryan Barrington-Smith, who I think at this point needs a new pair of underpants, because that was absolutely frightening to see. But he's moved up into second. Brandon Kruger has moved up into third. But I want to go and talk about a big implication here, because Fleming Bauer is currently in fourth. Fleming Bauer is fourth in the championship. Now, here's the bomb drop. Fleming Bauer is on 70 points. And if you just joined us, a big welcome. Bago Krobler, who's third in the championship. 2 rounds, including this round, to go. And now, going into it, he was on 70 points. So Fleming Bauer, who's on 70 points, and just saw Bago Krobler on 70 points, which means Fleming Bauer theoretically has third place in the bag if he can keep this position. That being said, Werner Skuman, who needs to get on the climb, Mahath Musa, who's running 6th in the championship on 54 points, needs to get the climb as well. So that has changed up. That single mistake that we witnessed live just changed the championship, the entire field of that championship. Interesting enough, Ruben Heineke, William Wentworth, both have completed their mandatory pit stop. So they are going out and racing till the end. 41 minutes to go. And I'm just taking a look out to the grandstands, and I'm just seeing Saki Goes Bossy going and putting his hands on his head. Dino going and just throwing his wallet on the ground. He is out of it. He made his bet and it just didn't pan out. much like going and voting on a horse that's named, you know, Super Racy or something like that. Unfortunately, he's out. LC Joubert going and saying, oh my heavens, that is just a set of new pants coming in. So that has changed up the entirety of the field and changed up how this race is going to go. Thankfully, though, shout out to Bego Krobler. Despite that, he is going to try and pull it back. He's in 18th position, so he has all the time to try and close up. If he plays it smart, he might be able to work out in terms of pit stop strategies, but there's so much to go on here. As we see, Mahath Musa is in the pits. Fleming Bauer is going to get the pass on him. Jaco Kutzer, though, will he get the pass over Mahath Musa? He pulls it to the pits, so let's see where Sorodio is. He's coming around Cheetah at the moment. Will Musa leave the pits? Yes, he will. He will be ahead of his teammate, Andre Sorodio, on the way through. So they're going to have to work together here. Mahath Musa needs the points. Sorodio, on the other hand, is going out for pride. Mahath Musa actually does not get out in time and has Sorodio and Skuman get past him. So they move up into the top spots. Jaco Kutzer will be also losing a few spots. So remember, we talked about that bar. Here it is, lying in 6th place. 7th and 8th is the bar you want to keep ahead of if you're in Henry Mayer's position, if you're in Ryan Barrington Smith's position, Brandon Kruger's position, Fleming Bauer, Jason Farmer. This is going to be such a hard fight for them, and seeing how it goes. I mean, wow. Okay. 6th place, Andre Sorodio, Werner Skuman in 7th, then followed by Mahath Musa, Martin Rotenbach, Ruan Siliers, and Mordre Claessen's going around the outside. He's going to try and battle it out. Ruan Siliers could not fight it out, so Mordre up into the top 10. Siliers running in 11th. 12th is Ruan van der Walt, then followed by Hansi Myberg, Paul Fenter, Jaco Kutzer, Tiernis Burta, Bego Krobler. As he makes his way around, he gains position. Jaco Nadir in the pits will be passed by Eric Kirstein, Terence Ferreira in 20th, Etienne Mouton, Barry Lubber, Ludwig Zetzman, Ruan Heineke, William Wentworth, Christian Zetzman, and in the pits currently, Bradley Surley, who is in for quite a bit of time. Rob van Hever is in for quite a bit of time as well. Moving down, Michael Peterson still going in 29th. 30th is Andre Ara Madwai. Then 32nd, I do apologize, Gavin Scruton, along with Van Zale and Barkhazen, who have not gone back out after their problems. So Gavin, who is 4 laps down, he's trying to keep it going. He also ran into a bit of a disconnect. Interesting enough, Jason Farmer in the pits, Martin Rotenbach in the pits, and Brandon Kruger just exiting the pits, but loses out the run as Sorodio and Skuman are running 4th and 5th as it stands, with Musa in 6th, Claessen's in 7th. Drive-through penalty for Terence Ferreira. That is for track limits exceeded. Unfortunately, that is going to knock him down. But if I'm part of the top 3, Henry Mayer, Ryan Barrington Smith, and Fleming Bauer, I will be looking over my shoulder right now, because this is a problem. You've got 27 minutes to get into the box. You have got 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th who have all completed their pit stops. Might I add, though, only splash and dashes. No tire changes. That being said, Fleming Bauer immediately into the pits. Ryan Barrington Smith into the pits. They're not taking chances. Our top 3 into the pits. But will it be enough? Because here comes Andre Sorodio. Will he be able to carry the momentum? Werner Skuman, remember, is close by. So they may filter in between these two as they go on to the charge. Sorodio trying to get going. Fleming Bauer, Mayer, and Ryan Barrington Smith, they still in the pits. Sorodio's going to get the jump. Werner Skuman may also get the jump as well. Sorodio up into 1st place. Mahath Musa getting up into 2nd. Where is Werner Skuman? Werner Skuman has gotten into the pits. So Werner Skuman's completing his final pit stop. Okay, we got a turn of events here, ladies and gentlemen, because with the likes of Skuman looking for the ultimate undercut on the rest of the field. He's watching where Hansi Myberg is. So Hansi is the bar where you want to be. Rowan Saliers is in a world of hurt once again. Too late with those pit stops. Oh, man. It's gutting when you sit here and you start looking at the drivers saying, okay, what needs to be done? But we do have a bit of contact for the 87 car, and that is Brandon Kruger. So Brandon Kruger trying to get around one of the Mustangs, looking for the dive. Turn 2, did he get it all out of shape? Oh, he didn't expect a slow-moving Mustang. A slight clip on the rear. Gets the pass done, but not without a few scratches. Jaco Kutza has got Jason Farmer and Tianus Buerta onto the back of him. This is going to be a proper fight, as Tianus Buerta, Jason Farmer doing everything he can. For anyone that doesn't know the Griffin Sim Racing team, they used to be called the LTR team, the Luxury Time Racing. They have now shed the skin. They've got Griffin Sim Racing. Gotta say, I love the blue, the silver, and the black. We usually see Team Kerygma Racing, who went the silver and blue with a little bit of black. Honestly, smooth finish on that car. If we're talking about favorite color schemes, that has to be my favorite one of them all at current. And that is just, well, paying homage to the OG that was commentating here at RaceFace.Pro. Many of our sim racers will know him as a staple voice in the homes of sim racing in the early 2020 and even prior to that. And that was George G. Max Smith. Old G Max, for anyone out there that doesn't know him. Shout out G. Without him, I actually wouldn't be commentating here at RaceFace.Pro. So I want to give him a shout out. Moved on from RaceFace.Pro, went to RCI, and has done really well for himself. So if we're talking about legends coming from RaceFace.Pro, which we are seeing a lot of, that is one I'm going to take my hat off to, because in the commentary side thing, we've had some amazing voices pass through here. We have George G. Max, Alan Patterson, who has gone through. We had Doe Herbert. We had my teammate, Janneman Brace, going through the commentary box, and of late, Cameron De Bastos going and taking his time. Gotta say. So, while we're talking about legends, forgive me for going down the sounds of the voices. It does bring me a little bit of pride, and I think deserves that their names are mentioned in a historic series like this, where we're going to be seeing the top of the charts. So, shout out. If anyone remembers the voices, put it in the comments, show them a bit of love. They deserve it. Much like our drivers out on track that are doing an absolutely phenomenal job, as we see Jason Farmer all over the back of Jaco Kutza, Andre Serradio starting to open up the gap, Tianus Buerta going in, make his way through. Paul Fenter into the pits, Tianus Buerta diving into the pits, Mordre Claessen's into the pits. As they make their way through, Serradio has completed all his pit stops, so he's the bar at current. Werner Skuman down in 13th would be second of that, Hansi Myberg, Jaco Nadir. So keep an eye on it, because Mahayath Musa has all to play for here. He can back up Henry Mayer and try and make a go, or he needs to really stand on the gas to keep going and put himself at the top of the charts. That being said, there's two more voices I want to put. They actually haven't commentated right here at RaceFace.Pro. But also, without them, I wouldn't be a voice here. And that would be John Whitfield and Sean Woodgate. I know they won't be listening, but yeah. Voice of the SWAT Corps Raceway. Also, just want to mention that. So, okay. That little bit emotional out of the side. Henry Mayer taking the pass over Mahayath Musa, who is now into the pits. Rowan Cilliers running in third place at the moment with Ryan Barrington-Smith all over the back of him. Ryan Barrington-Smith will try and make short work of Rowan Cilliers. Remember, Rowan is not quite in the same race because he's still got 2 pit stops to go, and does look like he gives a little bit of room, allows the likes of Ryan Barrington-Smith to get by just. Then you have got Brandon Kruger to deal with. Brandon's going to try and want to get past him as quick as possible. You monster of a send there. He gets a pass absolutely done, and now launch his way through. So Rowan starting to figure out where he is in this little pack order. Where is he going to stand? But remember that now we got Sorodio and Musa running 6th and 7th. We're on the 3rd round, 1 more round to go, and it's going to be an outright charge for them. I do think they will give it a little bit of a team order game, as I'm seeing accidents flaring up for our number 15. That's Bego Krobler. What happened to Bego Krobler? Did Cheetah get the best of him again? Was it Ingwe? Gets it. Okay, drive. Oh, there's a bit of contact with one of the Griffin Sim Racing. Slight contact between them there. Nothing too bad. Then our 54 landed up with a bit of a problem. And that is Mahayath Musa coming out of the pits. Strange. Where did he have the contact? That's Werner Skuman in the Mustang. He's going to go side by side. Werner Skuman trying to get a little bit of drive. Slight little bit of a love tap there. That allows Bego Krobler to get into the fray of things. So Werner Skuman, unfortunately, losing out of position to Bego Krobler, who is up into the top 10. So he's on a monstrous climb. And Werner Skuman will be trying to close and clamor and try and claw his way back into the fray of things to get himself back up to the top of the charts. Jason Farmer now into the pits. So he's getting himself done and dusted with 19 minutes to go. Mahayath Musa gets a pass done on one of our McLarens. Watching very, very close in the rearview mirror. Bego Krobler and Werner Skuman chasing him down. Brandon Kruger, though, has put in the fastest lap time of the race that was held for majority of the race by Henry Mayer. Brandon Kruger sets the fastest lap time, even with traffic, a 1:40.892, as he chases down Ryan Barrington-Smith, currently running in 2nd place. Andre Sorodio is the bar they want to keep ahead of, so they're going to ensure to try and close their way up into this fight. Ryan Barrington-Smith goes out wide, losing out a lot of traction, and now needs to deal with Brandon Kruger. He's got the slipstream. Down the mine shaft they go. Will be under braking, though. That's going to be the challenge. Oh, very, very slow going there, as Ryan really clamping onto the brakes, really moving that brake bias all the way to the nose to just try and get it to stop and pivot as much as possible, as our drivers absolutely slamming it around the track. Brandon Kruger losing out that little bit of drive through Ingwe. Another little battle forming. Mahayath Musa and Bego Krobler, they still going hammer and tongs at one another, looking to stay within the fight as they claw their way through. Bego hunting down for a bit of a spot at the moment as they make their way through Crocodile. Now Cheetah, a little bit of PTSD kicking into the back there, and chooses not to go for an insane pass, rather keep it all together, as he knows that the big loud Mustang of Werner Skuman will be clawing and scratching at the door to try and get by. So, interesting enough, let's talk about some big plans here. Henry Mayer stopped once, but change of tires, 32.9, so it's refuel and tires. Ryan Barrington-Smith on a new set of tires. Brandon Kruger on a new set of tires. Fleming Bowers on a new set of tires. And Andre Sorodio, who has done all his pit stops, is on a new set of tires. So Mahayath Musa on a new set of tires and Werner Skuman on a new set of tires. So this is going to be interesting to see how they can go that little bit more, all taking a bit of a gamble here. Henry Mayer, Ryan Barrington-Smith, Brandon Kruger will have the advantage as they can get their tyres sorted out quite quickly. Now they're going to have to do a splash and dash. They've got more life into those tyres. So the advantage is in their court versus Sorodia, Musa and Skuman, who went for the earlier stops. That being said, time in the pits is 23.7 seconds. You got to factor that in. At the moment, they are just under 20 seconds ahead of Andre Sorodio. Well, Ruan Saliers is under 20 seconds. Fleming Bauer may get away with it. It's going to be close, though. So much math coming into working out in the final stages of the race. 25 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Pit window 15 minutes and 47 seconds in this race. But monumental battles going out on the track. Bego Krobler, Werner Skuman. It is a mid-engine Porsche versus the American muscle, the front-engine Mustang. I say front engine, but it's more of a front mid-engine. Reason why is they've dropped the motor way down to the bottom of the chassis and as far back as possible into the monocoque, and now just trying to balance it out. So much like what we saw the Mercedes have with the engine all the way back towards the driver, Mustang has done the exact same thing to try and help balance the car out. Now here in the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione, it does have an inherent understeer with a corner oversteer. When you get on the power, it tends to snap the rear out. Where Bego Krobler's car naturally from start to finish has a lot of rotation to it, so it does oversteer quite a bit under battle. Right, Musa's BMW into corner entry will have understeer, more into a neutral on the exit. A bit of a factor with the BMW in terms of the car. When we talk about neutral, it doesn't really understeer and oversteer on exit. It tends to just keep its way. Bego Krobler into the pits. That will allow Werner Skuman to make his way up. So that has held Werner up just enough that Andre Sorodio is a little bit out of reach at the moment. Anything can change. 32 laps completed, 24 minutes left of this race. And as we know, anything can happen in the race, as we have seen throughout the entirety of it. 3 cars in the pits: Terence Ferrer, Gerry van Zyl, Bernard Barkhuizen. We have had retirements, unfortunately, in the race as well. As you see, Madouai moving out of the way for the likes of Werner Skuman and Mahath Musa. Let's go through the running order as it stands. Henry Mayer out in first. Second is Ryan Barrington-Smith. Brandon Kruger, Fleming Bauer, Ruan Saliers, Andre Sorodio, along with Jaco Kutzer, Mahath Musa, Werner Skuman, and running our top 10, Martin Rotenbach. Moving further down, Mordre Claessens, Paul Fenter, Tianus Buerta, Jason Farmer, right onto the back of him, Bego Krobler, Ruan van der Walt, Hansi Meyerberg, Jaco Nadir, Eric Kirstein, and Ludwig Zitzmann running in 20th position. 21st, Ruan Heineke, Barry Lubber, William Wentworth, Etienne Maton, and Christian Zitzmann in the pits. Rob van der Heerden will get the pass done on him. Bradley Searley, Michael Peterson, Arai Madouai, and 30th place, Gavin Scruton. And unfortunately, then we have got the cars that have retired but are still in the pits. They're in the server, looking to score some points. And I think at the moment, Barkhuizen, Van Zyl, and Ferreira will be going and taking up the position of a pit manager, looking at all the driving, looking at what needs to be done and how they can go in this. So this is going to be an interesting one. They're able to pass some information to the team. Brandon Kruger needing a lot of that information at the moment to Ryan Barrington-Smith, and seeing where the lap times are going to be. And at the moment, their lap times are so close in it. Ryan Barrington-Smith on the last lap, though, was a bit slower. 141.3, where Brandon Kruger 141.18. So he's able to get that little bit of time. Henry Mayer running 140.9. So he's long since out of the fight and long since gone out of that. I think he's got pretty much first place hooked up in the bag. But second place is still open cards as it stands between Brandon Kruger and Ryan Barrington-Smith as it goes on. We have now hit the afternoon. It's 34 degrees out on the track, 25 degrees air temperature. So honestly, the weather I would love to have right now for this winter is currently in the sim. Can we reverse roles? I'll give you the cold, you give us the heat. Anytime, that would be great. As you see, one of the Team Triad cars coming out of the pits, and that is Gavin, who makes his way out, along with one of our Pandassi drivers as well, as he exits the pits. So, absolutely phenomenal racing. But now, I asked the first time if you had to put your money onto a driver that could take the win. 2 said Henry Mayer, 1 said Bago Krobler. But who's going to take second? I'm going to ask that to the crowd. Who do you think is going to take second? Ryan Barrington-Smith, Brandon Kruger, Fleming Bauer, Ruan Cilliers, Andre Serradio. Who do you think's got this here? Because the plans seem to be changing very, very quickly as it stands, jumping around, seeing how they can go. Advantages starting to come into play here. Serradio, I think, is a viable threat as it stands. Brandon Kruger blinking in and out of existence. Oh no, that's not ideal circumstances, and that is due to an internet, so this is going to be close. So a proper run there. Saki goes bossy, saying 27 seconds from Serradio to Bauer. This is going to be close. Yes, it is. Serradio at the moment has closed up a lot of time. He is 11 seconds behind Ruan Cilliers, who we know still needs to pit. But Fleming Bauer and Brandon Kruger are still close to one another and still needing to get the job done. Henry Mayer broken away from the field. I think he's broken the camel's back on this one. He's on the charge trying to break away. Well, the likes of Ryan Barrington-Smith and, oh man, Fleming Bauer going to be chasing down the likes of Brandon Kruger, who is not having an easy time out there. That's going to be difficult for both drivers. For Bauer, he's watching a car disappear and reappear for him, and then you have got Ryan Barrington-Smith, who's watching his rearview mirror car disappearing and coming out of existence and going back into it, getting a Thanos snap the whole way through. So he's going to be keeping a very close eye on that. Jason Farmer had a little bit of a whoopsie-daisy off circuit. No, that was actually contact. So who did he have contact with? Oh, Madwai. So a little bit of contact with Madwai, who is trying to move out of the way, but still keep the momentum. Oh, okay, a bit of teleportation there, and that registered a slight hit between the two. I think the little bit of netcode actually saved Jason Farmer a little bit, because that would have been such a nasty accident. Brandon Kruger not having a good time out there. Ruan Cilliers still needs to get into the pits. He is in our top 5, but still 2 stops to go with 8 minutes of racing. Andre Serradio, Musa Skuman, they're running 6th, 7th, and 8th at the moment. They will be in a monumental charge to claw their way up, because this is going to be a proper close one. Martin Rotenbach in 9th is going to be hurting. And then you've got Ludwig Zitzman, who unfortunately at the beginning of the race landed up with being the first catch from Cheetah. He is also needing to do a pit stop, so he's going to drop away out of the fight as well. So not an easy time for him. We do see yellow flags coming up for the 113 car. And unfortunately, that's Bradley Silly, who got caught out. Where did he get the snap from? Here's coming into Cheetah, keeping toe over the curb. Oh, down the gears. So quick down the gears to just try and get that engine braking. Well done, well held. Slight scrape of the wall, but not enough to go and damage the cars, not enough to hurt the aero as much, but just more than enough to unsettle the driver as it stands. But our top 5 still needing to pit. Our top 4 need one more pit stop to get them underway. And at the moment, who's going to pull the trigger first? Ryan Barrington-Smith or Brandon Kruger as they fight their way through. Both having a challenging time to keep it going. As we take a look at Ryan Barrington-Smith, as we see the DMX Electrical sponsored rear wing. Taking a look at Brandon Kruger, who is staring at the back of the car saying, all right, I want to get past you. Here's an onboard shot. As he chases down, a little bit jarring actually to be on board there. Ryan Barrington-Smith just trying to counter a little bit of understeer as he makes his way through. Paul Fenter, though, has a bit of a problem. Paul Fenter landing up, pointing the wrong way. Jason Farmer looking a bit worse for wear as well. So the 42 and the 369 have come to blows. What happened? So here's Paul Fenter through the S's. Oh, the Aston steps. Stops in the middle of the track. Oh, Yucca goes around. Tiana Spuerta. Oh no, there's the contact. Jason Farmer, who was so zoned in, unfortunately, got a bit of a clout. And he landed off into the weeds. He's now towed the car back. Did he fall off the track or did he just call it quits? I think he called it quits. Yep, just parking the car. Oh man, Jason Farmer will be having so much frustration for that one as he pulls into the pits. Nowhere to go. Saw Paul Fenter last minute, and unfortunately that was that. Ryan Barrington-Smith has pulled the trigger early, so he is pulling into the pits. Where does he come out? Andre Sorodio is the one he's looking out for. So Sorodio going to be making his way through Crocodile and Cheetah as it stands, but that does allow Brandon Kruger to go and open up a bit more of a gap. Henry Mayer going and doing as much as he can. Ulrich Diaga giving a bit of information, saying steering damage for Farmer. LC Jabir saying end of race for Jason Farmer. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. Okay. Jabir, Diaga, if you guys have radio comms with Jason Farmer, this is a direct order from the commentator. This is a direct order from Steven. Tell him to get back in the car. Get back in the car. Get that car fixed. Get it back out on track. There's 13 minutes left. We want to see that car out. If he still fights that order, tell him to come to the interview room. And I will personally tell him, get that car back out. Because he deserves to see the checkered flag, much like many of our drivers here. The Griffin Sim Racing badge needs to see that checkered flag here at Kyalami. Brandon Kruger pulling into the pit, so he is now going and reacting to Ryan Barrington-Smith. So LC Jabir says control lock for 3 minutes. That's fine. That's fine. Let it get done. Let it get done. Let him get back out. If he wants to argue with it, he comes to the commentary box and has to answer live on air to everyone around the world that he doesn't want to get that car out. That he's going to tell everyone supporting the GSR team that he's just not going to do it. Actually, you know what? There's a couple of cars here. Terence Ferreira, Kerry van Zyl, Bernard Barkhuizen, and Gavin Scruton. I know you guys are listening. I know you guys are watching and you're hearing, and you've got your friends watching, friends, family, petrol heads, everyone. I want to see every car that started this race to get to the end of the line. Purely on the fact of not only is there awesome racing out here, and your teams are now just giving it the absolute all. That's what they got to do. As we see Henry Mayer pulling into the pits, will Bauer go and do the same? With 1 minute 30 seconds to go, he's going to have to get into the pits. Ryan Barrington-Smith has pulled the undercut. He's got Brandon Kruger on the back of him. So my challenge to all the drivers that are still in the server right now, that started this race, don't go and wait it out in the pits. Don't. Because that's stolen valor, saying that you got on the results board like that. My personal opinion. And I think I speak for everyone around the world watching. Not only are we seeing Henry Mayer out there, Ryan Barrington-Smith currently chasing him down, 10 seconds behind him, Brandon Kruger on the back. But for everyone sitting here that's supporting the drivers, that's willing them on, we want to see those cars cross the line the way they should cross the line. Crossing under their own power, across the checkered flag, not sitting in the pits. And I'm going to point out to one driver in particular that's doing that. Jason Farmer, who is back out on track after everything. Jason Farmer is going to see it to the end. So, Jason Farmer, a little bit of a spotlight on you, buddy. Go, go, go. 9 minutes. Hang it in there. Show off what you can do for the Griffin Sim Racing team. LC Jabir saying Mr. Farmer will be on track soon. Absolutely love it. We just saw that out on track. Brandon Kruger gets ahead of Ryan Barrington-Smith, though. Now in the final run for this. This is second place on the cards. Try and go around the outside. Ryan Barrington-Smith not able to get the pass done just as yet. Brandon Kruger doing everything he can to try and get the drive. Brandon's going to have to work and dig deep here if he wants to get it done. So for those drivers that are still in the pits, guys, get those cars out. Get them across the line. Not only for yourselves, but for all watching and cheering right now. We want to see it. And even Viertier going and saying, well done, Farmer, for getting the car out. You know, that's always been my one rule. And it's been my one challenge to every driver. And I will keep going on with it until the day I go into a box. And trust me, that's not anytime soon. Henry Mayer out in the top of the charts, though. Doing a phenomenal job. But second place is between Brandon Kruger and Ryan Barrington-Smith. It is a race at this point. They need to do it. LC Jabir echoing. Everyone needs to finish on the track. Well, if anyone has comms to Gavin Terrence, Harry Funzel, and Bernard Barkhazen, I best say, give them a call, send them a WhatsApp, send them a Facebook message, whatever needs to be done to get those cars on track. We want to see them get out on track. Come hell or high water, every driver has done a monumental task here. Henry Mayer out in first place, only 10 seconds ahead of Brandon Kruger. Then Ryan Barrington-Smith running in third. Fourth place, Andres Serradio. Mahayath Musa, Fleming Bauer, Werner Skuman, Mordrake Larsens, Jaco Kutzer, and Bego Krubler are running in the top 10. 7 minutes to go. All on the cards. Bego Krubler was second early on in the race. Unfortunately, lost to the car and took a spec. Dropped down to 18th position. Now on his way back up through the order. He has got Jaco Kutzer in sight. Team Tryhard Bandits now looking to try and break away from likes of Bego Krubler, who is pulling on, which looks to be Paul Fenter actually onto the back of him. Yes, it is. It's Paul Fenter that is closing up. Paul Fenter is down in 18th position, but sees his sim racing rival just ahead of him and saying, right, I need to go after you, buddy. I'm going to give you a bag of problems right now. and it's going to be all over the back. And Bago is going and saying, well, buddy, I hope you're ready for the shenanigans. You know, I love this, because what's been echoed through Bernard Barkhuizen back out on track. Yes, he's still got the pit stops, but Bernard Barkhuizen's back out on track. So, shout out to him. Harry Van Zyl, Gavin, Terence Ferreira, get in those seats. If Bernard Barkhuizen can do it, you guys can do it. There is no excuse for it. And I'm actually going to show those drivers at the end. The ones that cross the line. Not interested in those that don't. I want to see the drivers that put in a proper fight. Bago Krobler onto the back of Jaco Kutzer. Team Tryhard Racing was actually the sister team to go and fight it out. Tenvo going and saying Bernard is back out on track. Salute. Absolutely agree with that. Jason Farmer's done it. Bernard Barkhuizen's done it. Harry Van Zyl, Gavin Scruton, your chances now are to get out on track. You got 5 minutes to do this. I want to see those cars come across the line to join our leaders, to join our race as we give a salute to Kyalami, our home circuit here in South Africa. That is the third round on this amazing championship, the SRO World Qualifiers for the Community World Championship, hosted by RaceFace, this qualifier. And as a South African, we all wear our rugby shirts. We all wear our South African shirts whenever it comes to it. We're here at Kyalami. We got to give a salute off properly. Bago Krobler up on the inside, gets it beautifully done, and launches his way through ahead of Kutza. Gamble going and saying, Griffin boys, never give up, never surrender. That is it. Never back down from a fight, much like Christian Zetzman and Barry Lubber giving a go at one another. Barry Lubber of the ZRC ex Iron Land Racing Co. Ooh, mouthful there. With Christian Zetzman right ahead of him, giving a good chase. Barry Lubber going to look on the inside, just can't get it done. Trying to put that Tiger right into the inside through Sunset. And Christian trying to defend as much as possible as it stands. Our driver's doing a fantastic job on the way through. But this is going to be it. See it to the end. See it to the line. So much going on. Who's going to be able to make the climb by the end of the race? Henry Mayer, though, has it all up to go as they make their way around the track. Everyone hoping that they can see it to the end, and honestly doing a phenomenal job of it as they make their way around. We are waiting to see how it all turns out, who's going to be able to get that climb, who's going to make their way to the top of the order, as they all try and get a little bit on towards the top. Barry Lubber losing out the momentum, trying to make their way through. Henry Mayer out in first, second Brandon Kruger. Ryan Barrington-Smith trying everything he can as he looks to try and claw his way back into the fray of things. It's going to be a monumental fight all the way through, but he's done a great job so far. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Ryan Barrington-Smith, though, having a bit of a problem trying to shuffle his way around. Suddenly, Andre Sorodio coming into the mix here as Madwai moves out of the way. Sorodio may have just pipped the likes of Ryan Barrington-Smith at the last. Ryan trying everything he can. Dives for the inside line. Begging, trying to hold on to it side by side as they claw their way through. Sorodio's going to give him the good workaround as it stands. Not going to be an easy one. Fighting up and down Ryan Barrington-Smith needs to get elbows out here because third place would have been thrown out of the door right at the last. This is not ideal situation for him. He's not wanting to deal with this. And we'll have to try and figure out what's going to work for him. How's he going to get this back? So, let's see. Will Serodio be able to hold on for the final a little bit? As they claw their way through. Not easy to get it under braking. Couldn't get the pass done and dusted just there. Have to see and dial things back as they make their way around the circuit. Not gonna be an easy fight under braking. Oh, just not able to get past yet. Oh, there's a contact! Ryan Barrington-Smith with the contact. He has slowed up, but that's gonna change it all. Mahayath Musa has gotten past. Mahayath Musa's gotten past. Mahayath Musa saw the problem, got past them, and now is on his way through. Has he done it? He's stolen it. The contact between Ryan Barrington-Smith and the likes of Mahayath Musa has just gone and he's stolen the pass. Oh my heavens, this would be the biggest upset to it all if they managed to get it done and dusted like this. Andre Serodio down. Ryan Barrington-Smith is behind Werner Skuman. So Werner Skuman is going. Fleming Bauer is going to score well for the points here. This has absolutely turned it on its head. In the final moments, we have just seen a change. Ryan Barrington-Smith clamoring at the moment, trying to see where he can get past. Werner Skuman's going to go on the defense, but Henry Mayer making his way through as we see him down the mine shaft into Crocodiles. Will get a little bit more of a climb. Now through Cheetah for the final time. Henry Mayer will get the pass done and dusted. He will take home the race win. Henry Mayer gets the checkered as he comes across the line, taking first place. Brandon Kruger taking second place. Mahayath Musa with a heist of the century gets third. Fleming Bauer, Andre Serodio, Werner Skuman. Ryan Barrington-Smith's lost out. Ryan Barrington-Smith gets 7th position. He had it all. Second place was in there, and unfortunately was not his run. Mordrake Larsons will be taking 8th. Bego Krobler will be taking 9th. Jaco Kutza comes across in 10th position. Tiernas Puerta in 11th. Martin Rotenbach will be coming out in 12th. 13th, Ruan Saliers. Hansi Myberg, Jaco Nadir, Ruan van der Walt, Eric Kirstein, Paul Fenter, Ruan Heineke in 19th. 20th, William Wentworth, Ludwig Zittmann, Etienne Mutan, Rob van der Hever, Christian Zesman. Bradley Seeley is still onto the back. We won't be able to get that done and dusted. Barry Lubber, Jason Farmer, Ari Madwai, Michael Peterson, and then, well, as much as to say, Gavin, he didn't get it back out onto the track. Terence Ferrer didn't get back on the track. Harry Funzel didn't get back on the track. Bernard Barkhuizen did. So shout out to him. Do want to show all of those that have finished. But what a change. What an upset that has gone on as we head back to the commentary. Whew, I'm out of breath, folks. Who would have seen that one coming? Surely none of us saw that because wow, oh wow. I mean, oh boy. Musa takes the pass because of contact between Serodio and Ryan Barrington-Smith right at the last. Has changed up their own game. They were right up ahead talk about being in the right place at the right time. That is most certainly the right place at the right time. That being said, though, let's take a look at a couple of the highlights and what a race it was. Vietier, Greg van Niekerk, LCGB, all going and saying well done. Sucky Goes Bossy saying well done as well. I mean, this is just tremendous stuff. And this is just taking a look back at the racing that we just witnessed here at Kyalami for round 3 of the SRO World Community Cup qualifiers. This one hosted by RaceFace.Pro. And absolutely a piece of history getting put into the top of the charts here. Henry Mayer extending his lead, and at this current stage of the game will be one of the drivers representing RaceFace.Pro. Bernard Barkhuizen will be dropping down behind Bego Krobler by the looks of it. So Bego Krobler will get the jump on Bernard Barkhuizen. Fleming Bauer also a bit closer to the top. Werner Skuman, Mahath, Musa, Mordred Claessens, they've all gained valuable points to put themselves to it. That being said, let's bring in Brandon Kruger to come and have a chat with us here in the commentary box. Brandon Kruger, welcome to the commentary box. What a race out there that's pretty much has had everything, the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs. How are you feeling?
Yeah. Bro, ecstatic, honestly. Last week I couldn't race because my internet was bombing out. This week I was like, okay, 20-8. I'm chilling on the couch, eating a rusk. I'm like, should I race? Should I not race? 10-8. I'm getting my first practice laps in. And then during the race, I somehow managed to snag P2. I'm just ecstatic. It was really great.
I mean,
and the battles. There was the most intense battles for the longest time ever. I mean, first it was Rodeo and I, and then it was Barrington Smith and I, and like Barrington Smith and I, we went like all the way through to the end of the race.
I mean, it was just seeing how it was going to go, who's going to pull the trigger, and suddenly the pit stops played into your favor there. What was the plan in the final pit stop? Was that just he's gone to the pits, I'm going to get into the pits, get it done, and see how it goes, or was it planned to go so late into your strategy?
Okay, so the first pit stop, the first stint actually, my tire pressures weren't right. I just grabbed the setup and went out. Tires were a little bit cooked, and then I adjusted them at the halfway mark, and then from then on, it was just seeing who would do the undercut, who would do that 1 liter stop first. But I was actually planning to go on the lap that Barrington Smith went, and then I had to go afterwards because I saw there was like 4 minutes. I was just on the edge of it for the pit window, so I had to grab that then. But yeah, I was planning on the undercut, but then I had to go for the overcut. Saw him go by, but managed to get the overtake as well.
Well, you got second place. I mean, at one point you were looking at third, you were looking a little bit further down the field. I mean, did you ever expect to be finishing out at second right here for round 3, and especially around our own home circuit of Kyalami?
Not at all, hey. Even with quali, when I qualified B5, I was shocked. I did a sub 41, because in the practice laps that I had, I think I only did like a 41.1. So the quali was good, and then in the race I was struggling. Bego was pulling me away, and then I made a mistake and Barrington Smith was pulling away. I managed to keep Rodeo behind me. I was like, okay, I'll keep a P4, and then Bego had his little incident, unfortunately, with Cheetah, and then I was like, okay, P3, it's on the table if I just keep Rodeo behind me. But then Rodeo made that cheeky pit stop for his 1 liter, and I just knew I had to pull something out of my arse, so I kept at it at Barrington. I tried to match his pace. I managed to get like, I think 1.1 seconds behind him when we did our pit stops. And then from then on, I grabbed the fastest lap somehow this race. The Ferrari doesn't have that straight line, but you can keep the momentum in the corners so well, especially if you after me, getting 30 laps in, I finally managed to figure out where to brake. As silly as it sounds. But yeah, no, I did not expect this P2. It is a wonderful surprise. And yeah, it was a great race. I really enjoyed it, the battles with the gents.
I've got to say though, absolutely monumental. Great to see you coming back into the commentary box where you've spent so much time chatting about your races in previous. Now going and standing on a grand stage and showing off what you can do. That being said, I always love to do it. The floor is yours. To all the petrol heads, to all the sponsors, to all the teams, the families, everyone watching now in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, stand in attention and get ready to give a round of applause. Brandon Kruger, microphone and stage is yours. You can say, a bit of, if you want to add a bit of spice of good luck to guys, or see you next time type of thing. If you want to go and congratulate, floor's yours.
Thank you, Stephen. Yes, I just want to say, come race at RaceFace. It is the best league in South Africa. We have fast gents, we have respectful gents, we have like the best racing you can ask for. And these guys put their time, their life, their soul into it. And I think you will enjoy racing here. Please come race with us. And also, please come watch us. Entertainment. Obviously, we have the best commentator in South Africa as well, Stephen here. Just giving us entertainment every week. And I think we should be really grateful for that. So thank you, Stephen, very much for all that you have done. And thanks for Hansi for setting all this up. He's a one-man show at the moment, and he's doing an excellent job. And yeah, I hope more of my teammates, they come out and start racing again. I know some of them have some time constraints. I know work just like takes the life out of everyone. But yeah, please come race. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time. Yeah.
Absolutely tremendous stuff. Brandon, go and enjoy, go and have a bit of fun. You've earned it, and well done on that wonderful P2.
Thank you very much, man. Cheers.
Cheerio. Brandon Kruger, always phenomenal. Have a chat with a couple of the drivers. Absolutely tremendous stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope you had just as much fun as I did for the amazing racing we have got here happening and representing the world. Lots and lots of stuff happening in the world of sim racing, not only here in South Africa with all our different leagues, with all the different stuff, RaceFace.Pro going and accelerating their stature into the international scene as well, but also just amazing drivers. I mean, there we go, 3 wide. How's that? 3 wide through Ingrid. I'm glad that was caught on, because that was just amazing right there. We missed that, but that was great. Paul Fencer, Ludwig Zetzman, and one of our Mustangs going 3 wide. That being said, sorry guys, I got a little bit take back, teary-eyed. Absolutely. Round 3 done and dusted of the championship. So much we're looking forward to heading on for round 4, our final round happening next week. But a big shout out to SRO Motorsports Group for putting us on with the esports of SRO Esports, SimGrid for the amazing opportunity picking RaceFace.Pro. Big shout out to Scallywags as well, Ardendorf Machinery Mart, SA Lube, 20 plus years in the game of lube products for Castrol that goes to your door. A big shout out to Red Star Raceway, absolute world-class racetrack here in South Africa that definitely is comparable to Kyalami in terms of how it's set up. Very technical, very quick, and just one of those little gems out in Dalmas, South Africa. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you had as much fun as I have. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon. Just some amazing stuff happening out here in the world of RaceFace. We do have on the 20th our second round of the Endurance Series. That will be happening out on Assetto Corsa Competizione. That will be on the 20th. 8 hours of Monza. If you want to join, head over to SimGrid and look up RaceFace.Pro. Plenty of spots still open there. Next week, Tuesday, we will be racing with our GT3s once again on the world of iRacing for their RaceFace.Pro GT3 sprint race, which is always great to see. Thursday, we'll be heading into the final round of this championship, where 2 drivers will be selected to go and represent RaceFace.Pro in the SRO Esports Community World Championship. that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a lot of fun. My name is Stephen Koenig, and from the team here at the THT Productions, we'd like to say a big shout out, big thank you to Jim and Tim. Jim being our marshals, and Tim, our cameraman, forever give us the shots and working behind the scenes frantically. Love you too. You know exactly who you are. And we will see you next time. Like always, though, a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and good night, everybody.